Welcome to the deep dive. So, you're thinking about getting into trading. Maybe you've downloaded an app and you hit that classic fork in the road, Robinhood or Webull.
Right. They're both huge, zero commission, but fundamentally different beasts.
Exactly. So, our mission today, looking at the sources you sent, is to figure out, does the app just make investing feel like a game, or does it actually help you, feel like a pro analyst?
Yeah, it really boils down to that core question. Are you looking to look like a trader, quick and slick, or do you want the tools to potentially become one doing the actual analysis?
It's that simplicity versus power dynamic we see so often now.
Mhm.
Okay, let's dive into that user experience first. The analogy used is a go-kart track versus a command center. Robinhood is clearly the go-kart track.
Definitely. Its whole appeal, why it got so massive, was that super clean interface, zero commissions.
Mm.
It sort of turned Wall Street into this accessible mobile game. You could check it really fast.
Super easy to feel confident, make a quick trade.
But, and this is the key thing, that simplicity is also its limitation. It's like a ceiling. If you want to get more advanced, Robinhood kind of holds you back.
How so? Like, what's missing?
Well, you don't get things like level 2 market data, the
Mhm.
depth charts showing buy and sell orders, fewer complex order types too. It's great for learning the basics, maybe, but it keeps you on that starter track.
Got it. So then we have Webull, the command center, which sounds intimidating.
It can be. You
Mhm.
open it up and yeah, it's a lot. Charts, data streams, indicators enough to make your screen or even your laptop feel crowded. It's definitely not the gentle intro Robinhood provides.
So it's almost the opposite problem, potentially too much.
For a total beginner, maybe. But that complexity isn't just noise, it's capability. Webull is built assuming you want to analyze things, dig into technical indicators, stuff that helps you understand market momentum, volume, things beyond just the price trend.
Things you need for more active short-term trading, not just following, like Reddit buzz.
Exactly. Plus, it has features like simulated paper trading. That's huge.
Mm.
Lets you practice strategies without risking real money. It's designed for learning the markets, not just tapping buy.
Okay, so very different philosophies on the front end. Robinhood, sleek, simple, maybe limited. Webull, complex, powerful, maybe overwhelming.
That sums it up pretty well.
But what about under the hood? These are free apps. How do they actually make money? What's the engine driving them?
The million-dollar question. Well, not quite a million, but the core mechanism for both is payment for order flow, PFOF. It's a bit controversial.
Right, explain that quickly.
Basically, instead of sending your trade directly to an exchange, they route it through a large market-making firm like Citadel Securities or Virtu. These firms pay Robinhood and Webull for that order flow, for the chance to execute your trade.
And the catch for the user is,
The potential catch is that you might not get the absolute best possible execution price, or it might be a fraction slower. The market maker profits from the tiny difference between the buy and sell price, the spread, and they share some of that back with the app. That's the cost of free trading.
okay, so both do PFOF. But is there a difference in how they handle it?
There seems to be, yeah. The sources suggest Webull offers a bit more transparency about how your order is executed. You get a little more insight into the process.
Whereas Robinhood keeps it more behind the curtain, behind that slick green interface.
Kind of, yeah. It's more of a black box on Robinhood. The journey of your trade is less visible, and that ties into the bigger theme of trust and reliability.
You can't really talk about Robinhood without mentioning the GameStop saga in early 2021, right?
Absolutely not. That infamous outage where they restricted buying on certain stocks and the platform just went down for millions, that shattered a lot of trust. It raised huge questions about whether you could actually access your money or make trades during critical, volatile moments.
A really defining moment. How did Webull fare during that same period?
The sources indicate Webull handled that volatility, well, better. They had their own pressures, sure, but generally they experienced less downtime, fewer restrictions. They sort of weathered the storm with less drama.
So when the market gets really choppy, that reliability factor becomes paramount. It's not just about the cool interface then.
Not at all. It's about, can you actually use the platform when you need it most?
Okay, so wrapping this up, it sounds like the choice really reflects the user's personality or maybe their goals.
I think so. Robinhood, you could say, kind of gamifies finance. It wants you to feel good, act quickly, get in the game easily. Webull treats it more like a serious sport, maybe even a job. It wants you to sit down, analyze, dig deep, maybe until your coffee gets cold.
So the app you pick really shapes whether you're engaging with the market superficially or setting yourself up for potentially deeper analysis.
Yeah, it frames your whole approach.
Which brings us back to that PFOF model underpinning both. Here's a final thought for you. If both platforms ultimately make money by routing your orders elsewhere, how much does the interface they choose, that friendly gamification versus the intense analytical dashboard, influence how you perceive the actual risk you're taking, especially when things inevitably go sideways?
That's a really interesting point. Does the feel of the app mask the underlying mechanics?
Ah.
Definitely something to chew on.